To make pumpkin pie without any sugar and instead using maple syrup, we're going to start with 3 eggs. I'm going to just beat them up real quick. If you do that before you get everything else added, that way you won't have any like egg whites kind of hanging around. Okay, then you're gonna add about 2 cups of pumpkin. You can use either a 15-ounce can of pumpkin puree, or you can use about 2 cups of homemade pumpkin puree. If you're using homemade, there's a good chance it's a little bit thinner than what you would get in a can, so you might want to add a minute or 2 to the bake time at the end just to make sure that it's nice and set. So it could take just a minute or 2 longer. All right, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of sour cream. We're going to add 2/3 of a cup of maple syrup. This happens to be maple syrup that my parents and brothers made. It's kind of sad because we're getting down to the end of our stash, but they should be making more here in a couple months. Usually January and February they're making new syrup, so I guess we might as well use what we got, but it is a little sad to see it go. Alright, then of course we need some seasoning, so I'm going to use a teaspoon of vanilla, or a teaspoon of cinnamon, sorry. I am going to use a teaspoon of vanilla too, but not yet. About a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. And then about a teaspoon of vanilla. And we're just going to get that mixed in. Alright, so all we have to do is get this combined. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll get my pie crust out. It's already in the pie plate and in the refrigerator chilling. That's how you get the flakiest pie crust, is to keep everything pretty cold. So I'll get that out and pour it in there in just a second. Okay, so I have my great-grandma's recipe for lard pie crust. I have 1 crust here. It's been chilled. I'm going to put the pumpkin pie filling right in there. Of course, you can use any pie crust that you like. You can even use the store-bought ones. They're pretty good too, but I'm trying to be a little bit better about making my own pie crust. That's something I usually do kind of buy store-bought for, but trying to get a little bit better about doing my own. Okay, now that we have the filling in there, we're going to go ahead and put it in a preheated 425-degree oven for about 15 minutes, and then I'm going to turn the temperature down to 350 for about another 40 minutes. It should be mostly set with just a slight wobble in the middle. I'm going to wash the crust, and if it starts to get too brown, I'll cover it with one of these pie shields. If you don't have one, aluminum foil works too. So we'll see what it looks like when it's done. All right, guys, here we go. Just got the pie out of the oven. I'm gonna let it cool for a couple hours and then put it in the refrigerator until it's good and chilled, and it'll be ready to eat. So there we go, maple pumpkin pie and my great-grandma's lard pie crust.